Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sam, and today we have story time number 3, and we're playing some Overwatch 2. So, what is the most disgusting hotel experience that you guys have had? Me, personally, it was a Motel 6 in Washington, D.C. So, in this story time, I'm going to be telling you about the time that me and my buddies went to a Motel 6, and we got absolutely destroyed. Stay tuned. Alright guys, Sam here, back with another Storytime video, but today we're actually on some Overwatch 2 instead of MW2. So like I said in the intro, I'm going to tell you about the guys where I stayed in the worst Motel 6 known to man. So around September of last year in 2022, two of my buddies and I decided to take a trip to Washington, D.C. to watch the Washington Nationals and Baltimore Orioles play. So me personally, I'm a really big baseball fan, been playing baseball all my life. And really big fan of the Orioles, able to watch them play back in September. And Nationals Park is actually the closest baseball stadium to us, so that's where we went. And the Orioles was in town that day, so we decided to go. Oh, what a rock. You guys saw that? There's no way. Okay, back to the story. So, in the weeks leading up before, my buddy, who is military affiliated, military affiliated, you can actually stay in this thing called the Navy Lodge, which is where we were supposed to stay at, right? So like I said, we're supposed to stay at this place called the Navy Lodge, but unfortunately we didn't end up staying there because my buddy didn't book the rooms in time. And so unfortunately none of us are 21 yet, so we can't actually book hotel rooms for ourselves. So what we ended up having to do was my buddy, who was 20 years old at the time, he ended up having to book a crappy Motel 6 room. And that's where our story begins. So the day we leave to go to Washington, D.C., everything is fine. You know, everything's great. We're driving up there. We're having a good time. We're talking in the car. And then, unfortunately, once we get to our location, the first thing that happens is we park. We park in the parking lot. And then this rampant dog comes up to our car and starts barking at us and trying to like bite us and crap. Frankly, we should have known that was a bad sign right from the get-go, and honestly, the trip was fun, but the lodging situation was really bad. But it was all we could get at the time, so unfortunately, we just had to deal with the crappy Motel 6. So we go into the lobby, we check in, and the first thing we notice is that some of the walls are actually like coming apart. Like there was like mildew on the wall or whatever, and we're like, oh gosh, what do we just get ourselves into? So we get our room key, we're going into our room, and we walk in the room, right, and it automatically smells like cigarettes. Like, it was a really bad smell, and all of us were just flabbergasted. Not to mention, yeah, there were blood stains on the mattress and the comforters, and immediately we were like, oh, that was disgusting, because it was. And then on top of that, the floor is really sticky in some stains. We're like, what could that be? So obviously someone was having fun the night before. And overall, it was really disgusting. My buddy actually wanted to run up to like the local like Walgreens or whatever, a convenience store, and buy some wipes to wipe down the floor. I was like, dude, I'm not doing all that. Honestly, we should just deal with it. I'm glad we're even here watching the game anyway. So like I said, guys, we ended up checking into the room. We put our stuff down. And then we actually get to go to the game. Overall, the game was fun. We got on TV, actually. The local sports network that the Orioles and Nationals playing is called Masson. And my parents are actually really huge Orioles fans, so they watch every single game. And like I said, me and my buddies actually got on TV. There's a player for the Orioles. His name is Ryan Mountcastle. And where we were sitting at was right field, and he hit the home run directly to us. I almost caught the ball, actually. Yeah, I almost caught the home run ball, and if I did, that probably would have been the coolest moment of my life. It was like literally 2 inches away from us. And what's crazy is I wasn't sitting in my proper seat, right? So I was actually sitting a seat over from where we were supposed to sit just because we had extra space. And what's crazy is if I was sitting in my actual seat, I probably would have caught that ball and caught my first ever home run ball at a Major League Baseball game. So we actually went to 2 games. The first one we went to was actually a night game. And then so after the game, we are driving back to our Motel 6, and we ended up driving down like this really sketch road. And unfortunately, it led to the highway, but it was this really sketchy road, really dark, no street lights, no we had was our car lights, or our headlights rather, to navigate us through the darkness. So in the Motel 6 room we were staying at, when we walked in initially first, I forgot to mention this, we walk into like the bathroom area, and it was the most disgusting thing that you could ever imagine. There was like hair in the tub. There was like an old coin. There was like food crumbs everywhere. Listen, it was frankly, it was absolutely disgusting, okay? And I was even nervous to even wash my hands after using the restroom. That's the thing. The restroom door didn't even close. You had to like lean on it while you were using the restroom to keep it closed. No one will come in and freaking mind you are doing your business, you know? So like I said, when the game's over, we get back to our Motel 6 room, and my buddies and I were not about to sleep under any comforters or anything like that, or use any pillows. So fortunately, my dad told me to bring an extra blanket because he knew the Motel 6 stuff was probably gonna be bad, and that's exactly what I did. And it ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made on that entire trip. So what we ended up doing was we used our bags, right, as pillows, like our travel bags. And then I brought an extra blanket, so that's what we ended up using as well. And we woke up the next morning, just chilled in the room for a little bit. It was really just icky to move everywhere. I just did not feel clean in that room whatsoever. And so we packed up all of our stuff, and then we actually got ready to go to the second game, which is also a night game, and that was still really fun. The Orioles won both games, fortunately, and I had a great time on the trip. And actually, the second day before the game, we ended up just walking around just downtown DC, that area. Like, we saw like the White House, the Pentagon. It was all pretty cool. Went to the Lincoln Memorial, went to a couple museums, the Smithsonian. Overall, I really like history, so it really captivated me. And then we got ready, went to the game. Like I said, the Orioles won both games. And so then we had a decision. So originally, we were going to stay both nights, right? Because that's what we booked our room for, to stay both nights. But so me and my buddy were trying to convince our other friend that actually drove us to DC for the games. We tried to convince him to leave after the game, and at first he wasn't going to. He was like, oh yeah, I'll see how I feel after the game, whatnot, blah blah blah. And so when the game ends, we were like, so what are we gonna do? And he was like, dude, to be honest with you, I just want to go home, blah blah blah. And so our plan worked. We ended up going home. We didn't stay the extra night, and we drove all the way home that night. And frankly, that was the second best decision we had on that trip, because frankly, we were not about to stay another night in that crappy Motel 6 room. But at least it was lodging. We weren't like sleeping in a car or whatever. So that was probably the most fortunate part about it. All in all, it was a very humbling experience, and I can't wait until I turn 21, and then I can buy my own hotel rooms for myself, you know? Anyway, you guys, that's gonna conclude today's video. Hope you all enjoyed this story time episode 3, and let's enjoy this sick play of the game by your boy Samceredi. I see this universe. Okay, all of that wasn't even that good, but it was something though. It was something, guys. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed today's video. Like I said, we're gonna have story times every Friday, so look out for those. And with that being said, hope you all have a great day, and see ya.